I'm a primary care doctor. I see patients in a clinic in downtown Cleveland, which is adjacent to the emergency department in a large hospital. The majority of my patients have been using emergency departments for their primary care all their lives. They just now, thanks to the Affordable Care Act, have health insurance and the opportunity to see a primary care doctor. Patients I've seen recently: a 22-year-old man with recent unprotected sex and penile discharge. I could smell pot when I entered the room. He had his cell phone out. As I opened up my laptop, I expected him to put the phone away. He did not. I told him, "Can you please put away your cell phone?" A woman was on her cell phone in the hallway outside, and she wanted to come in, but he didn't want her to. She wanted to know if he really was fooling around. I asked him why he was here today. He said he thinks he got burnt and wanted me to test him for everything. His cell phone started to ring. He looked at me as if for commiseration as he reached into his pocket to, I hope, silence it. He answered the phone. It was the woman outside. I could hear her through the phone and in the hallway. I ordered tests for gonorrhea, chlamydia, and trichomonas and handed him a cup asking him to provide us with a urine sample. I ordered antibiotics. While he was in the restroom, I noted he was a smoker. I saw him in 30 years breathing on oxygen through a tube or dead from lung cancer from the smoking I never addressed today. When he returned with the cup, I asked him how much he smoked. He said, "I lightweight smoke Black and Milds." I counseled him on the importance of quitting smoking and ordered nicotine patch and gum to help him quit. He hadn't expected me to address his tobacco use. He was happy enough to receive the antibiotics and get out of the clinic within the 2 hours that parking would be free. The patients I see mostly see me for somatic complaints, which are the downstream effects of modifiable risk factors. 70% are overweight or obese. The majority have high blood pressure, prediabetes or diabetes, and risk factors: unprotected sex, unhealthy diet, sedentary lifestyles, and tobacco use. Their bodies essentially are in revolt against the abuse they're piling on, and they want me to do something about downstream effects of the abuse. But when I address only those somatic complaints, I haven't added a minute to their life expectancy, haven't done anything for their long-term health. Another patient I saw recently, a 28-year-old woman who came in for leg pain. She wanted me to order compression stockings for her legs because her friend said they might relieve the pain. I noticed that her recent blood pressure showed that she hadn't been taking the Coumadin, the blood thinner I'd prescribed after she had developed a clot in her lungs, a pulmonary embolism, PE, 2 months ago. She acknowledged she was feeling short of breath and was experiencing chest pain similar to the pain she had with her last PE, which almost killed her. She asked me again for the compression stockings. I said, "We can take care of that when you follow up, but today we need to make sure you don't have another clot in your lungs. You need to go to the emergency department." And she began to cry. "I'm so tired of this. I'm so tired," she said. "I don't want to spend another Christmas in the hospital because I know they'll admit me if I go to the emergency room. I am not going to the emergency room." I stared at my computer as she cried. "I'm so tired of this." I knew her tears were half from fear that I'd caused and half from despair of her condition. The one thing she wanted from our visit today, I had refused her: compression stockings. She might not even come back to see me, much less take her blood thinner. I left the room. I came back with the pulse ox machine. Her O2 saturation was 98%, a good sign. I told her, "I really don't think you have a PE, but I don't want to risk this." I ordered her the compression stockings, encouraged her to take her Coumadin, and asked her again if she would go to the ED. She said she would, and she thanked me. I couldn't understand how she could be focused on her leg pain and getting compression stockings when she might have a life-threatening clot in her lungs. I'm not sure why there is this gulf between what I think is important for us to address in our 15 minutes together and what my patients want and expect from the encounter. Is it because they're poor and I'm not? That poverty causes people to think about what's immediate, like where they'll sleep, how they'll eat, how they'll make it home without getting shot, and thinking about blood pressure or the effect of tobacco use or losing weight, which won't affect them for another 10, 20, or 30 years, is not a compressing concern. But I also see this gulf that separates us as an opportunity for a major change in trajectory in their life course. I get butterflies in my stomach just thinking about my next day in clinic, the vulnerability, the risk of failure, and the lack of predictability when I help patients make life changes. As I exercise this hope with each patient, I'm beating back my own burnout. Superman has to wait for a villain to appear to do good, but I can predictably save a train car of lives in the next day I'm in clinic. I do it just as much for them as for myself.